Hello there. So my name's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee, and today I'm going to make a beret. Alright, felt. Now you have to buy the felt that you get off the roll, okay? Yeah, it's a completely different material, and as you're going to need quite a bit of it, then it's not really a worry. So what I've got here is I have an old plate. Now this shouldn't be a problem with the grey, obviously, but I promise you, if you were to do this with a bright red or, you know, any other colour, go as interesting as you like, it would bleach through, honestly, and it will bleach through onto the china. The dye they use is so strong. Okay, so what I have in my hand here is a hair tie, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one end of the hair tie and one end of the hair tie, and sorry, I thought it's just a waste of cloth me cutting it to size. So what I'm doing is I've got my hair tie in my hand, and I can pull that through. So yeah, and I can tie it off with a safety pin, that's not a problem. So let's just grab a safety pin. Or two. You never get just one, do you? There we are. So let's put that through on there, and let's then trim off this excess, because I don't need it. But felt, you know, you can need such tiny amounts that I'm not going to waste any of it. And if it's still attached to a big piece, well, that's all the better. Okay, I'm not using my dressmaker scissors. I'm going to use my craft scissors. That's so that I don't ruin them. And believe it or not, I think my craft scissors are actually better than my my dressmaking scissors at the minute. So I know. So what I've got here is I've got an old plate, and it's old, and I've wrapped it round with felt. Okay, and because I want to, no other reason, I have saved a spare bit of felt. Yeah, that's fine. And I have here a tapestry needle. So we've got a strip of felt, which is straight, by the way, sorry. I know, I've just put it away. And I'm using my needle. And this is an optional extra, this really is, you know, nowadays they don't have them. And I'm going to judge the centre. And I'm going to insert that. So, okay, that's cool. Now you can use felt, it depends really. Some of them have like little bits of cord in it. It's the same principle, whatever you have, and all I'm trying to do is thread through a dongly bit. Ooh. Yeah, my threading skills are not good at the best of times. There we go, so I've got my dongly bit, and I'm going to just push it in. The holes are the same, and I'm going to take my needle out, put my finger there, and I have a dongly bit. Or 3 dongly bits. Oh come on, this isn't funny. There we are. I have now got a dongly bit. So that's great. Okay, so this is what we're left with. Now what we need to do is we need to shrink this felt so that we've got rid of all these pleats. Okay? And in fact, it really depends on you. Cold water. Honestly, no secret trick. And again, I'm watching what container I'm using because I don't want to ruin it, really. And I'm sure a metal container will be fine. So yeah, I just have to let that soak in. And I don't know how well you can see it. It doesn't soak in, okay? It's going to need a good couple of hours. And then when it's soaked in, you'll see the felt shrinking, and then I'll be able to cut out a head size hole, and then I'll have that lovely smooth finish beret. Okay, well thank you for watching. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Hello there, it's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee. So, soaking wet, it's dried now. And what we have to do is we have to cut a hole to put our head in, and yeah, and then we have to hem it, and it's done. It's as quick as that. So first of all, measure your head. Now, I measured it the other day actually, so don't think that I'm got a mathematical brain or anything. It's because I can remember that far back. I can remember yesterday. So my head is 23 inches around the brim where I put my hat, you know, there. Now if you tap that into the internet and ask what the diameter would be, it would tell you it's 3.74. So what I need to do now is I need to cut a circle with the diameter of 3.74. Lovely. So I just folded that up, and I've got the right end of the. Do you know, this is the first one, tape measure that they go the same way on both sides, and it's quite infuriating. Okay, now this is practice. What you can do though is you can get a bit of string and you can just draw a line. So, or if you've got a child, you can steal their compass. So, there we go. Now this should be the same size as my head. We're just going to assume it is. Now, it's not that easy to cut, I suppose. What I'm actually going to do, no, I'm not going to give myself hem allowance, am I? That would be silly. Is I'm taking a marker and I'm going to be covering this with the binding, so I'm not too worried about it. And I've drawn a line. Now, yes, and then I am going to just trim off all the middle. Now remember that we didn't even cut this as a square, we just took it off the end, which we'd been using for all sorts of crafty bits. And what I should have is a dented, stretched circle. Lovely. Not brilliant, but I have high hopes. So, done it really tightly. Now I'm sure if I squirted that water I could get it flat straight away. So here I have a rim of felt, and I'm going to give myself a little bit of a hem allowance, and then I'm going to just trim it off. Now the reason I'm using felt is traditionally you'd use a strip of leather, and I did think about using some PVC leather, but then I thought, oh, I'm just going to bind it with felt. It's fine. So first of all, I'm going to just stick a couple of pins, and then I'm going to fold it halfway, and then I'm going to take this and stick it there, because it hasn't taken up quite as much fabric as I would have liked. And then this halfway I can stick, so I know that I've got to gather that much up. Okay. I've got it very, very twisted. Which is not ideal. I'm going the wrong way. So halfway, I've just untwisted it, that's all. And then halfway again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew the wrong side to the binding so that I can then fold it over and do another layer of stitches. Yeah, nice and simple. We've got the little taggy bit on the front there, so, and it's a case of away we go. Now I need to collect more fabric from the grey felt than I do from the red felt. So what I'm going to do is put the one that I don't need to reduce in the bottom, and then I'm just literally going to sew to the pins. Now I've left this bit clear because this bit is going to be folded over, and then I'm going to do a line of top stitches. And I'm going to be careful not to sew over any pins as well. Okay, I've got a little bit of sewing to do, and I'll switch back on in a minute. Hello there, so I'm just going round the back now, folding up my binding. Now obviously, okay, felt's very easy to sew. The needle goes through it very easily, but I am sewing quite a few levels of fabric. So, you know, we just have to be kind, slow to the machine. Ooh, got an extra bit there. And just keep following it round. All I'm doing is literally, I have this stitches that I did from the other side and folding it over. And, yeah, very, very, very easily. And as it's a circle as well, the machine just keeps going round. And also, as it's felt, then I don't need to worry about hemming. So I am coming to the end. To the beginning, just going across my stitches now so that that's nice and secure. Okay, so it's not brilliant, I must admit, and it is a first attempt for me, but there we go, we have a beret, and I can obviously wear it on a slant, leg to French. Alright, thank you ever so much for watching. My name's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee.